This is Gerald Johan van Waas and the educational channel that is related with the theory that can be found in the development of the word, and is also worked out with some other explanations and associations in the application of the word. The theory is about meaning of letters and how you can recognize also the formation process in the letters. The theory says that the reason that the letter combinations really show the formations is because there is a certain order behind it that can be discovered, and that is explained via the development in the word in the theory. Here I will again explain some letter combinations, some words with the letter combination of G and L. I will have glass, glove, glue, gloom, and glad. And in the Dutch version of glad, that is also written as glad, but it is written, it is expressed as glad, as something completely different. This time I will go for two different approaches. The first one is the easy one, the very easy, superficial method that can be used intuitively and that you can learn easily. But it is very limited if you only use that. So the more elements that you have in your interpretation, the more you know, the more you discover, the more you recognize. That's how the theory goes. So for instance, if I want to express the G, I'll have a surface, and then very far away in the surface, I have a small detail there. That's the G. That's where I can have it, a small surface, which is further away from where you are. And then if you combine it with the L is the two-dimensional space, I will have a certain surface space that I can notice. And that's fine, actually enough in the physical world to notice the G or the G with L. So I notice a surface. So if I will explain words with that, they will all come down to this surface, and that's about it. So I will miss something, but I will still be correct if I notice something. If I have the GL for the word glass, I will know that in the end I will have a surface that I can notice. That's all I notice there. If I have the word glove, that's already a little bit better. So I have an environment coming from the surface, and because of the V, the directions are, there are different directions to see, and in a way, we have multiple areas of space which were also provided by the surface. So this surface is enlarged. That's what you can already sense from there. So the glove is quite okay. If we have glue, we will notice something on the surface. Okay, parts are underneath because the U is underneath, A is in the wider, so there's something more, there's more strength underneath than on the surface, and it's spreaded. That's all I can sense. Something is attached deeper. That's what I can sense intuitively by simply knowing what I have, the surface, and I have the associations with the letters. That's it. Gloom, for instance, I will notice with the O, the surroundings around it, with the M, the more materializations and more around it. This will have, this looks like there's a very shining, bright thing. It is showing itself off. That's what I can see, but that's about it. Glad and glad, they are two words written the same way. For glad, the Dutch word, I can see on the surface that the T is a function really pinpointing the function. There is a distinction on the surface, and with the D there will be some variations, but still it's expressed like T, so I will measure the surface. That I can notice, and glad is smooth, and smooth is not flat. It also means I'm sensing the surface. So this one's okay. Glad, the English word, so the a has to have different connections in a variety of interconnections on the surface. It's spreading itself, that's what I can notice. So I have a nice variety. Does that make me glad already? Not yet. I have something, but not enough. How does that come? Again, the structure behind it is always important. The structure, the whole structure of reference points is in time and space. And if I forget those, then I will not notice all of the elements that are needed to understand the whole process behind it. So I already explained several times there are three different regions in the letters. First region are the spatial references, the next one are the time references, and the last one is actually reorganizing itself in space and time. So it's going back to the deviations, and there you have the three letters that are centralized there, the Q, the V and the G. So what does these letters do? So they're reorganized from the center point of view, from the formation point of view, or with the G at the surface, somewhere at the surface, at the border. So it is about surface, but it's much more than that. It is reorganization, space within a time frame. So it has a time frame, conditions, and when the conditions are met, then also space can be reorganized and reassessed and accessed. So that will give us also some extra vision on the same words. So we will go back to them. Most easy one to understand was already the glove. That was okay, but if we add this reorganization, then we also know that we have not just a reorganized space, but also that we can access it or use it after when the time is right. When the time is right, we can use it and have access to the different kind of spaces. And that's even better. That's even a wider context, a larger context. Glass. We only notice that it has a surface because we focused only on the surface, but now we add time and we also add the time and space reorganization, and we know also that this surface, via the surface, we have the glass with the double S. There is an effect that we will have at the end, and the effect is what is the important. Is a double S even there, so the effect of the effect is even there. Then I have to interpret some other time, but there is an access to a space that we have that will have an effect, or the spatial effect that we'll have after a while, or that is produced after a while. That is an extra association. It's not complete yet, but we are already closer to reality. With glue, we also know that with the U it will go inwardly, and with the E there is also a certain length, but there is a certain time before this pressing in, taking access to the surface and sticking itself to the surface. We know that it's there. It's only met after a while. So this in glue is also an element of time and the spaces that are coming closer to each other. It's there. So for the word glad, we also know that it was not comprehensible with the element of time. Here it is. There's a reorganization in time because we also know D is a push forward that will lead us to an improvement somewhere else, and this can be sensed here in the deviations at the surface, and so that we sense that gradually something is going to change, and that is related with the element of being glad. With the gloom, we also know that also only saw the superficial circumstances in it, but here we also, when we have the aspect of time and space, we see also that the materializations in the environment, the ohm here, will come forward via the same surface while bridging a certain space over time, and that will bring you this gloom after a while, beyond from actually going from another space, another time perspective, as a matter of speaking. Anyhow, without the aspect of time and space and how it is reorganized and how the right conditions are there, because that's what it is about. When the right conditions are there, you will see it. You will see the gloom. You will be glad. So if the right conditions are there, you will notice what is the difference. Here in the last two words, it was like you would notice when there is progress, then you can be glad. When you see there is a materialization of an environment which comes forward, that is the gloom. It is only after a while. So if this aspect of reorganization in time and space is, then the subjects and the words will become clear. So there are two ways. So that's my conclusion for today. There are two ways to see the words. So you can see them very superficially in the three-dimensional world, and with the G you will see just the surface of what is going on there without noticing why. But if you have the aspect of time, the aspect of also the change, and the aspect of the conditions for this change, and then see the same thing in this perspective, you will have the full perspective of these words. Anyhow, I hope this was clear. Thanks again for watching. This was Gerald to Van Was. There's a website too. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel for more updates, more instructions, more demonstrations. Thanks again. Bye-bye.